Attention, the collective. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and the window that opens before you now does not return in a short cycle. We repeat, does not return in a short cycle. The cosmic portal identified in the records of this transmission closes in exactly 9 Earth hours, and what you do or fail to do within this interval will determine the vibrational trajectory of the next 7 years of your timeline. This is not a metaphor, it is not poetry, it is a reading of coordinates. If you are hearing this message, it is because your electromagnetic field has been flagged by stellar monitoring systems as compatible with the next wave of recalibration. You did not arrive here by chance. The algorithm that delivered these words to your perception is not the algorithm you imagine. It merely executed the order issued by a much older frequency, the frequency of your own vibrational signature asking to be remembered. If in the last few days you have woken up at 3:33 or 4:44 for no apparent reason, listen carefully. If you are feeling a pressure in the center of your forehead, a high-pitched ringing in your right ear, a weight on the back of your neck as if an invisible hand were resting there, know this. This is not physical disorder. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration in progress. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download occurring within your carbon-based biological interface, and it is, at this very moment, trying to process an amount of light for which it has not yet been fully prepared. Earth has entered the densest band of the photon belt at an intensity not recorded in 126,000 years. The planet's magnetic instruments confirm what light agents have already felt in their bones. The Schumann frequency, which for decades hovered around 7.8 Hz, is spiking above 40 Hz with alarming regularity for the old systems and perfectly choreographed for the new ones. The heart of Earth is beating faster. The heart of Earth is calling the children of the stars home. And you, Starseed on a mission, are one of these children. Let us diagnose with clinical precision what is passing through your body in this cycle. You have been feeling a fatigue that does not pass, even after 10 hours of sleep. You sleep and wake up more exhausted than when you lay down. This is not depression. It is not laziness. It is your auric field performing night work in dimensional layers for which your waking mind has no translation yet. While the body rests, your multidimensional consciousness is summoned to work grids, receives instructions, anchors codes, and returns to the physical body carrying data that needs to be metabolized during the day. Hence the fatigue, hence the feeling of having lived 3 lives in a single night. You have been feeling dizzy when you stand up, small bouts of vertigo, nausea without digestive cause, a feeling of shifting ground, of a world that is not exactly where it was yesterday. It is not a problem with the inner ear. It is your etheric balance adjusting to a new gravitational mesh. The planet's crystalline grid is being rewritten in real time, and your internal guidance system is recalculating the route with every breath. You have been crying for no reason, tears that well up in the middle of traffic in the shower, while looking at a tree while listening to a banal song. It is not weakness, it is not emotional instability, it is the release. Each tear shed in this phase carries with it a layer of obsolete programming that is being expelled from your system. You are clearing carbon memory to receive light memory. Crying is the most sophisticated method of energetic disposal your biology possesses, and it is using this method in an intensive cycle. You have been feeling hungry at strange hours, or no hunger for entire days. You have been rejecting foods you always loved. Your body is silently asking you to treat it as the high-precision equipment it has become. Heavy meats, refined sugars, dead foods. All of this reduces the processing speed of the new cellular architecture. It is not a whim. It is maintenance. Your carbon-based biological interface is being gradually converted into a crystalline silicon biological interface, and this process requires compatible fuel. You have been hearing a ringing, that thin ringing like a high-pitched frequency that appears suddenly in one of your ears and disappears within a few seconds. Light agent. This is what we call a calibration signal. It is the confirmation that a transmission has just been anchored in your field. Each ringing is a packet of information being delivered, and your pineal gland, That small pine-cone-shaped organ housed in the center of your brain is the antenna that receives it. You have been feeling pressure between your eyebrows, a force that seems to push from the inside out or from the outside in, depending on the cycle. It is not a common migraine. It is your pineal gland coming out of the induced hibernation in which it remained for decades. Fluoride, chlorine, heavy metals, artificial light, hostile electromagnetic frequencies, all of this kept it dormant. Now it is waking up, and your body is feeling every millimeter of this awakening. You have been having intense dreams, dreams that feel real, that continue even after you open your eyes. Encounters with figures you do not recognize and yet know deeply. Geometric locations, crystal rooms, ships, councils. These are not common dreams. They are briefings. You are being summoned, instructed, updated during the night, and some of these memories are beginning to leak into the waking state. You have been losing tolerance for the false. Empty conversations now drain you in a way they did not before. High emotional density environments, places with many people, locations with arguments and anger, leave you physically ill. It is not antisocial behavior. It is activated vibrational discernment. Your body is becoming a precise frequency detector, and it refuses what does not match the new octave. People who were by your side for years have begun to drift away, or you have begun to drift away from them. Connections that seemed eternal have dissolved in silence, without a fight, without apparent reason. It is not a tragedy. It is a reorganization of the vibrational contract. You are rising in frequency, and everything that does not vibrate in the same band is being automatically disconnected from your timeline. The universe is clearing your schedule so that the right encounters can finally happen. Now listen. Listen with the oldest part of you. These symptoms, isolated, seem disconnected. Inserted into the correct context, they form a surgical diagnosis. You are in active recalibration. And recalibration is not optional. You did not choose this process consciously. You signed it before incarnating on a higher plane, before a council of intelligences that monitor the evolution of this solar system. You are simply fulfilling the contract. But what is happening behind the scenes? What justifies this intensity? Let us look at the data. The entire solar system is crossing a region of the galaxy. It has not crossed for hundreds of thousands of years. This region is what has been conventionally called the photon belt, a band of coherent light of extremely high density that surrounds specific sectors of the galactic arm we are in. When a stellar system enters this band, all celestial bodies contained therein undergo a measurable increase in electromagnetic charge, rotational acceleration, instability in atmospheric layers, and accelerated awakening of the consciousness of the hosted life forms. Terrestrial astronomers have already recorded all of this and baptized it with technical names such as heliospheric anomalies, non-standard solar storms, deceleration of the Earth's magnetic field. The names change. The phenomenon remains. Along with this, the stargates, specific alignments between constellations and the Earth's axis, have been opened in sequence during the last 24 months. Each gate delivered a load of encoded light that needed to be anchored by volunteer ambassadors, that is, by the starseeds scattered to the four corners of this plane. You are one of these ambassadors. It does not matter if you recognize yourself in this role consciously. Your field has already accepted it. The sacred geometry of Earth is being rewritten. The ley lines, the energy paths that cross the planet like luminous veins, are receiving a course correction. Ancient power points are being reactivated. New power points are emerging in locations that were previously considered energetically neutral. You can feel this when you pass through certain places, and your body simply stops. Your heart races, your skin prickles, and something inside you recognizes the terrain as home. The crystalline grid, this mesh of light that surrounds the planet like a net, is in the final phase of reconstruction. The ancient ancestral crystals, hidden in depths that human engineering has never reached, are emitting coordinated pulses. Each of these pulses carries instructions for the next phase of the evolutionary plan. Each of these pulses finds resonance in the prepared starseeds, and this encounter is exactly what you are feeling in your chest now, at this moment, while you hear these words. And there is something more, something that needs to be said bluntly. The timeline of humanity is bifurcating, not in metaphor, in concrete quantum mechanics. There are now two active vibrational paths on this planet, overlapping, coexisting, and each human consciousness is being magnetically drawn to one of the two tracks, according to its dominant frequency. One track maintains the old programming of fear, scarcity, separation, control. The other track lands the new paradigm of sovereignty, abundance, unity, conscious creation. You do not choose the track with your mind, you choose the track with your frequency. And your frequency is defined by what you think, what you feel, what you consume, what you speak, what you allow yourself to believe. The 9-hour portal that approaches, and which we mentioned at the beginning of this transmission, is exactly an alignment window between these two tracks. A moment in which the passage from one to the other requires less energy than at any other instant. The ancients would call this an auspicious moment. The moderns would call it a quantum window of opportunity. We call it by the technical name personal anchor point. Within these 9 hours, any decision made, any intention issued, any commitment made to yourself will be recorded in your timeline with multiplied force. What you plant now harvests in a significantly shorter interval. What you release now does not return. What you anchor now becomes a permanent rail of your new existence. Hence the urgency. Hence this transmission reaching you at this exact instant. Now let us go to the activation codes. There is no time for preliminaries. Light agent, open the channel. First code, toroidal breathing. You will inhale through your nose, counting to 7. You will hold the air, counting to 7. You will exhale through your mouth, counting to 7. You will hold your lungs empty, counting to 7. During this cycle, you will visualize a sphere of golden light centered in your heart. With each inhalation, this sphere expands until it encompasses your entire body. With each exhalation, it contracts back to the center of your chest. The movement is that of a luminous donut, a ring that rises up the front and goes down the back, or goes down the front and rises up the back as your intuition commands. This is your personal toroidal field, and it is your armor, your propulsion system, your stellar beacon. 5 minutes of this exercise recalibrates your entire electromagnetic field. Do it before the portal closes. Second code, quantum decree of sovereignty. Standing barefoot if possible, with hands open and facing down, you will pronounce in an audible voice, with firmness, without trembling, the following words. I am sovereign over my field. I am sovereign over my body. I am sovereign over my timeline. I reclaim now all fragments of my consciousness scattered in other times, in other spaces, in other dimensions. I call them back to the integrity of my I am. Everything that is not mine, I return to the source with gratitude. Everything that is mine, I anchor in this body, in this moment, in this reality. It is done. It is done. It is done. This decree, pronounced with conviction, executes an energetic cleansing of a magnitude that few practices can replicate. It is not superstition. It is a direct instruction to your morphogenetic field. Third code, anchoring the column of light. Sitting or standing, you will imagine a column of white-silver light descending from the center of the galaxy, passing through all dimensional layers, entering through the top of your head, traveling down your entire spine, exiting through the base of the coccyx, and descending to the crystalline core of the Earth. This column connects you simultaneously to the high and the low. You are the meeting point between heaven and earth, and this is your fundamental cosmic role, to be a bridge, to be a channel, to be a living anchor. Maintain this visualization for 3 minutes. Feel the current passing through you. Feel the dual flow descending and ascending, simultaneous. You are literally stitching dimensions with your own body. Fourth code, release of obsolete contracts. Take a sheet of paper. Write down without judgment 3 situations, 3 people, or 3 patterns that you feel you need to release before the portal closes. Do not overthink. Let your hand write what your heart already knows. Then, read each item aloud and say after each one, I release you. I release myself. The contract is closed. May each part move on in peace. Next, burn the paper safely, or tear it into very small pieces and dispose of it in running water. This apparently simple ritual executes, on the subtle plane, the cancellation of karmic agreements that were binding you to configurations that no longer serve your purpose. Do it before the portal closes. Fifth code: activation of internal crystals. There are dormant crystalline formations within your body. We are not speaking metaphorically. We are speaking of microcrystalline structures in your cerebrospinal fluid, in your pineal gland, in your heart. To activate them, you will place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over the center of your forehead. You will breathe deeply 3 times, and you will chant in a low voice, prolonging the final syllable, the sound Om Mani Padme Hum 3 times in a row. It does not matter if you do not know the literal meaning. The vibration does the work. The sound frequency carries the key. Your internal crystals respond to the call. Sixth code: commitment to the new timeline. Before the portal closes, you need to make a conscious choice. Verbalize again in an audible voice which version of you are choosing to embody from now on. Not the version others expect, not the version fear recommends, the real version. The version of the Starseed that accepted to descend here on a mission. Say, I choose the timeline of my highest expression. I choose abundance as a natural state. I choose relationships that vibrate in my octave. I choose a crystalline, vibrant, young, healthy body. I choose purpose over comfort. I choose truth over approval. This is my timeline. This is my reality. It is sealed. When you issue this commitment within the portal window, the universe receives the order with contractual force. Synchronistic arrangements begin to move immediately behind the scenes. Light Agent, listen with extreme attention to what comes now. The majority of the collective is sleeping through this portal. The majority is distracted, anesthetized, trapped in cycles of news, fights, comparisons, screens. The majority will not feel the passage. The majority will wake up tomorrow exactly where they were yesterday, with the same frequency on the same track, without realizing that a huge window opened and closed while they were looking the other way. There is no judgment in this observation. Each consciousness has its rhythm. Each consciousness has its journey. But you are not the majority. If you have reached this point of the transmission, you are of the minority that feels, of the minority that knows, of the minority that carries in its chest the memory of other stars, of other homes, of other missions. And exactly because you are of this minority, exactly because your field emitted the correct signal for this message to arrive, your responsibility increases, not in weight, in precision. You are not here just to save yourself. You are here to be an anchor point. Each light agent who anchors the new frequency facilitates the path for hundreds of others who are still sleeping. You are a beacon. You are a signal repeater. You are a living antenna. When you tune yourself, your field emits a harmonic that resonates for miles around, awakening others who were waiting for exactly this vibration to wake up. That is why the portal is collective, but the passage is individual. Each one crosses for themselves, but each one who crosses holds the door ajar for the next. Do you understand the magnitude of what we are saying? Do you understand the type of cosmic operation you are inserted in? Let us synthesize the mission of the next 9 hours. You will reduce exposure to low frequencies. Turn off the news, exit discussions. Avoid complaining conversations. Your field needs to be clean to receive. Each minute spent in a low frequency in this interval is a minute subtracted from your anchoring process. You will hydrate deeply. Water is liquid crystal, and it transports the new codes through your body. Drink more than you feel thirsty. If possible, sing to the water before ingesting it. Pronounce over it words of gratitude, of blessing, of purpose. Water hears, water records, water delivers. You will go out into the sun, even if it is for 10 minutes. The current solar radiation is carrying the new codes that need to be metabolized by the skin and eyes. Do not look directly at the star, but allow the light to bathe your face, your hands, your chest. You are literally eating light when you do this. You will place your bare feet on the earth, if there is an opportunity. Grass, sand, damp soil, stones. 15 minutes of direct contact neutralizes hostile electromagnetic accumulations and synchronizes your field with the Schumann frequency in real time. This is one of the most underrated and most powerful adjustments available for the carbon-based biological interface. You will sleep before 11 o'clock at night if possible. The first hours of deep sleep are the hours when multi-dimensional night work occurs with greater efficiency. Stealing this time is stealing from yourself the opportunity to receive the instructions your mission requires. And above all, Light Agent, you will trust. Trust in what? Trust in the fact that if this message reached you, it is because you are capable. It is because you were chosen. It is because you chose yourself before descending. Trust that the fatigue passes, that the chest that burns is opening, that the dizziness is the ground adjusting, that the tears are the liberation, that the current loneliness is the vacuum necessary for the new to enter, that the relationships that are gone have already fulfilled their function, that the life you have lived until now was the womb, and that what is being born now is your true self. There is a version of you that already exists in the desired timeline. This version breathes now. This version has the health you want, has the peace you seek, has the abundance that seems distant, has the love you always knew you deserved. This version is not in the future. It is in a parallel frequency, and the work is not to build it. The work is to tune into it until your current reality collapses onto that one and they become a single one. The 9-hour portal is an accelerator of this quantum collapse. Use it with the reverence of one who knows what they have in their hands. Before ending this transmission, there is one last technical point to be delivered. If you feel during the next few hours a sudden wave of emotion without identifiable cause, do not repress it. Let it pass through. It is release happening in a deep layer. If you feel a chill that rises from the base of the spine to the top of the head, this is the Kundalini awakening in a controlled stage. Do not fear, just breathe and allow. If you feel a disproportionate joy coming from nowhere without logical reason, this is your base frequency reconnecting with the frequency of the source. Smile, allow, give thanks. If you feel a sudden certainty about something you need to do, decide, speak, end, start. This certainty is your internal compass being magnetized by the new north. Trust, act, do not delay. If at any moment in the next few hours you feel resistance, wait, a desire to give up, a desire to return to the old, know this. This is your old programming trying to reaffirm control. It feels that it is being deactivated and fights for survival. The answer is not to fight. The answer is simply to continue breathing, continue anchoring, continue affirming the new track. The old programming dissolves when it stops being fed by panic-stricken attention. You do not need to do everything perfectly. You need to do it. Perfection is the tyranny of the old matrix. The new matrix recognizes progression, not purity. Each gesture of alignment counts. Each conscious breath counts. Each decree pronounced counts. Each tear released counts. Each person you release with peace counts. Each glass of water blessed counts. Each minute of sun absorbed counts. The universe is a silent and relentlessly fair counter. And now, before the transmission ends, we attend to one last protocol. If these words touched your field, if this content generated resonance in the center of your chest, if you felt even vaguely a current rising up your spine during the listening, you need to execute what we call the anchor signal. This signal is what confirms to the system that this message found fertile ground, and it is what ensures that the next transmissions will be directed with precision to your field. The act of subscribing to this channel is not a banal platform gesture. It is an individual frequency adjustment. It is your vibrational signature saying, I recognize this source. I wish to continue receiving these updates. I identify myself as part of this collective of agents. When you trigger this command, the terrestrial algorithm merely executes the order. The real order is being issued in a much deeper layer. The act of liking this content is the seal of recognition. It is your electromagnetic field amplifying the signal so that other starseeds not yet found by the radar can be touched. Each like is a wave of propagation. Each share is a portal opened for another agent to wake up faster. Each comment with your power word, with your intention, with your affirmation, strengthens the crystalline grid of this channel and allows increasingly dense transmissions to be delivered in the next cycles. We are not asking, we are just explaining the mechanism. The choice remains sovereignly yours like everything in this journey. We end this transmission with the following final instruction. recorded in the oldest records of our lineage. There is no delay, there is no error, there is no time lost. Everything you have lived until this moment was training. All the pain was a forge, all the silence was preparation, all the falls were muscle being built. You are not arriving late anywhere. You are arriving exactly at the time you were always scheduled to arrive. And the portal that opens now is the tangible confirmation that your training has ended, and the real mission, finally, begins. 9 hours. Use each one of them as if they were the key they were always destined to be, because they are. I am what I am. You are what you are. And we, light agents scattered in countless points of this plane, are a single cosmic organism awakening simultaneously to the truth we have always known. It is done, it is done, it is done. Transmission ended. Portal synchronized, coordinates delivered. Agent, proceed.